Next up, we have Suzumi Kuzu's second theme, MO-NA-D-1 Memory Pursuit from the brilliant Pagoda or Haze Castle Len'en project soundtrack thing. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here, musically. So, if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever thing you use. Like the video, share the video, comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, don't forget to join the Discord server, join the Patreon, subscribe to the gaming channel, subscribe to the Reacts channel, how to request songs even not on the live stream members, getting early access to the content, how much beautiful this, and a bunch of other things later on in this video, so stick around for that. Disclaimers showing on your screen right now, so go ahead and pause the video to read them in full. Otherwise, please be patient with me. I am acoustic and guitarded, so please keep that in mind. And also, my understanding is that this is legally distinct, not Touhou. That is my my understanding over here. So let's go. Okay, so we start with we start with of course the first drum there. We have the cymbal, and we start with the bass drum giving us what sounds to be like a heartbeat beat, boom boom. Boom, boom, kind of thing. We then have a bass and the lower end of the piano, giving us that initial melody going downwards, giving us what sounds to be both our bass line and potentially our initial motif. Motif being the smallest version of a musical idea, the seed, the essence from which everything else comes from. Bass line as in bass line. So yeah, I know that in English it can get a little bit curious at times. Then we have another synth a little bit higher up, giving us what sounds to be a partial arpeggio. Arpeggio being when you play a chord one note at a time. For example, here's C minor, here's arpeggiated, and we're getting something like, or some one of these, right? Like just part of the arpeggio happening, and this synth is pulsating with the rhythm. Like the type of synth sounds like the type that doesn't give you a straightforward note, but like turns on and off kind of thing. Let's see where this goes. Continuing, we have another synth with white noise sounds, almost like white noise texture. Synth there giving us an arpeggio. Okay, building an arpeggio, we're slowly... Okay, developing those arpeggios. Okay, so we are taking... No, that's not an arpeggio. That's not quite an arpeggio. We are taking the motif and we are doing what sounds to be a reduction and variations of the motif, like reduction and inversion, right? So a reduction is a way to develop your material in which you do a faster version of something you've done before. Then we are having up and down. We include also an inversion, what sounds to be an inversion of the motif. Inversion in melody is when you do an upside down reflection of something you've done before. So if we have this here, for example, then an inversion would be us doing upside down reflection, basically going the opposite way. We're having that, and then it sounds like we are adding some extra phrases there, like a what I like to call a alternating pedal, right? So a pedal note or pedal tone is a note that you hold down for an extended arbitrary period of time. The one that I'm talking about is an alternating one. Alternating pedal tone, pedal note. This is a colloquial term that I use. Colloquial, by that I mean there is no official academic definition for this, or at least I'm choosing not to use it for the sake of simplicity. And an alternating pedal note, what it does is that usually the pedal would be lower down. We're using one higher up in this case. And basically we would be having a note up here, and we are then bringing a scale going down. Something like this, right? But the alternating pedal, what I mean by this is that when the other note is played, the pedal gets overridden or muted. So instead of having, we are having instead. And it sounds like we are doing a little bit of that as well to bring the motif. Now, it seems like every time we reset the phrase or we do a repetition, we are adding a new layer every single time, slowly building up everything. Now, this being such a short phrase, might work, might not work. In other things, is this a Pokeball? And sorry, and in other, it looks like a Pokeball. In other scenarios in gaming, you would have this kind of layered music where all the layers are already playing, and the game does dynamic. You can do dynamic scoring in the game where you can change which layers are unmuted depending on what is happening on screen. Anyway, let's see where it goes. Oh, reduction of the piano. Symbol from Len'en. I don't care if you call this a symbol from Len'en. Okay, so this is legally distinct, not Touhou, using a legally distinct, not Pokeball. Like, come on, dude. Come on. Come on. Let me make a screenshot over here. Like, come on, dude. Come on. Oh yeah, this one has the it's literally an eye. Yeah, like once you zoom in, yeah. It's just the color combination looks suspiciously similar. Toumon, there you go. All right, so we bring in a reduction of the piano variation. We have, yeah, it's the color combination. So we are having this. Let's see what it is. More drums in the background. Okay, so we bring a reduction of what the piano was doing. We're doing a faster version of it, of the motif, and now we introduce another synth above it that is giving us a repeated note version of what the piano is doing. So instead of holding the notes down, or in this case, like something like that, right? Like we're repeating notes, changing the rhythm, but keeping mostly the shape, the most of the shape intact. Let's see what it goes. Violin samples. Violin samples now doing what also sounds to be an inversion of the original motif. No reduction this time around, just the motif itself. Is it a reduction? Maybe a retrograde? Maybe a retrograde. So retrograde, unlike an inversion, is when you do something backwards. So if we go back to the example I gave for the inversion, then the retrograde would be doing that backwards. And if we then take the inversion and we do a retrograde of that, we get the retrograde inversion. Yeah, it can get a bit confusing at times, but yeah, let's see where it goes. We add the reduction motif with everything. Very dissonant. So yeah, we bring everything together and it sounds now like we are engaging in some counterpoint, right? Counterpoint being the study, the art of melodies. How they are, how they develop, how they interact with one another, usually in the context of having two or more at the same time. However, this... Usually counterpoint, it focuses on consonants, but in this case, it sounds like we are very much focusing on dissonance. So when it comes to music and the combination of notes you can get, you have two overall fields on the interactions of notes that you can have. You can have consonance, and you can have dissonance. Within consonance, there is a subtype of consonant, which is perfect consonance. And then within dissonance, you have an additional one, which is the instability, right? So consonants, it's going to be when notes sound good together. Like they sound like they belong, they sound like they are in harmony. This is the expression that people use. It's going to be minor thirds, major thirds, minor sixths, and major sixths. Then we have perfect consonants, which is perfect fourths and perfect fifths. They sound like they belong together, but they sound a bit more rigid, a bit more metallic than everything else. Then we have dissonance. Dissonant notes sound like they clash against one another. This is going to be minor seconds, major seconds, major sevenths and minor sevenths. And then we have instability. So consonance is going to be thirds and sixths, major, minor. Perfect consonant is going to be perfect fourths and perfect fifths. Dissonance, you have seconds and you have sevenths. And then we have instability, which is the tritone. The tritone is the only interval in music that is kind of symmetrical. What this means is that if I take these two notes, and I then do what is called an inversion here, where I take the lowest note and I turn it up an octave, I get a different interval. This is a third, this is a sixth. If I do this with anything else, if I take a second, I turn it up, it's a seventh. But if I do that with a tritone, and by the way, here's the sound of a tritone, inherently unstable, if I invert the tritone, I still get the same tritone. I still get the tritone. So it is the only interval in music that has this feature, so to speak. And then, if you invert a perfect fourth, you get a perfect fifth. If you invert a perfect fifth, you get a perfect fourth. So it's one of those kinds of things. So we're having this, and right now we're focusing a lot on dissonance. So yeah, we're doing a lot of that. Let's see where this goes. Back to the repeated note version. And now we bring in a second synth doing that repeated note higher up, engaging what is called a doubling. Doubling is when you have more than one instrument doing the same thing at the same time. So yeah, consonance, dissonance, and by the way, another thing about consonance and dissonance is that if you add them together, you might be able to get more. So if you add dissonance to dissonance, you get more dissonance. If you add consonance to consonance, you can get more consonance unless it adds up to a tritone. That would be the case of the minor third plus another minor third. Because here, you land a tritone. That is the only exception in which adding consonants to consonants does not result in more consonants. However, if you add consonants to dissonance, you get beautiful consonants, unless that dissonance is the tritone. No matter what you add to the tritone, if it's consonance, if it's dissonance, it doesn't matter what you add to a tritone, it is still going to sound unstable, making the tritone a very, very unique thing in music. So yeah, and of course we are continuing building up to something over here. This whole section seems to be building and building and building. We have yet to see how this resolves, or if it resolves at all, because this could just be that it's a build-up piece in general. So it could be that the whole point of this is to highlight that instability, that dissonance, that disturbing nature of it, right? So let me listen to, man, it's not just noise, hard. I mean, yeah, the idea of this is that this is dissonant. So when it comes to scoring, game scoring in general, because this is played in a video game, scoring is not meant to always be beautiful. Scoring is meant to elevate what is happening on screen. So if you're having something disturbing happening on screen, unless you are going for dramatic irony, then you don't want something beautiful playing. Dramatic irony is when you have when what is happening on screen doesn't match the soundtrack, and that discrepancy is what makes it more powerful. So imagine you're at the end of a horror film and the main character finally dies after the whole film, and then like the Teletubbies or like some Discovery Kids or like Blue's Clues theme starts playing, something like that, right? Like super happy-go-lucky, but the character's lying dead. Kind of thing, right? Like that is dramatic irony. So unless you're going for something like that, which is a very specific thing, scoring for something like horror or a scary or a disturbing section would require you to focus on dissonance, which is what seems to be happening over here. And you know where else we focus on things that was happening over here? The Patreon! Patreon.com/JamesRBasterd. If you want to support this channel more than you already are, consider joining the Patreon today. Even if you're not pledging any funds, do join the free tier of these, because this is where the non-gaming LFAs are going. Those are extra LFAs exclusive to the Patreon. What are those? Anime, film, TV, label music, the kind of stuff that we usually don't do on the main channel on YouTube. Why? What we do on YouTube is inherently fair use. That does not stop bad actors such as record labels, film studios, individual independent rat scammers out there from abusing the copyright system on YouTube. So in order to just not deal with that for these LFAs, we're putting them here on Patreon, exclusively on Patreon, free for everyone to watch, with paid members, citizen tier and above, getting early access to the content. So, if you want to support this channel more than you already are, consider joining the Patreon today, consider becoming a paid member today. Join to get access, free access to the extra LFAs. Join here. Thank you to those who are already members, especially those who are paid members, particularly Real Mrs. French Guy and Amayer. Your support means everything. And for everybody else, become a member today, consider becoming a paid member today. Either way, you will get access to the extra LFAs. Patreon.com/JamesRBasterd. Linked in the description down below. Patreon.com/JamesRBasterd. Become a member today. Alright, so with that, you caused me to do a shameless thing. How about we pan over to Don Quixote and see what she has to say? Thought so! Thought so! Look at that. You could say that her humor today is a little bit deadpan. Let's continue. Okay, we're bringing this back. Whistle this time around, mainly for texture. Double a second? No. Okay. So we are bringing back the same material we've used before, but this time we're adding a whistle at the top, adding more texture in general. So yeah, it seems like in this case, the composer was not aiming for beautiful music a la Mozart. We were aiming for something that would give you texture, that would elevate music. So, not all music deserves to be listened to. There are genuinely bad pieces out there. There's genuinely bad music out there. And usually it comes down to bad crafting. Or you're an academic and you're from a conservatory and you over-intellectualize music so much that you stopped making it. But in this case, this has a purpose. And the purpose of the music is not to be listened to. The purpose of the music is to elevate the game. Let's see where this goes. Oh! And we change things around. We switch the drums over. Now we have a running kick drum, like we're gonna kind of faster drum. We bring back the reduction inversion and alternating pedal tone version of the motif, and we just change the chords behind it. We start playing the right chords this time around. No more phrasings underneath, no more counterpoint. We now just have the chords being played, and now we can hear from the chaos what was hiding beneath. Nice. Doubling from another scene. This is really good. Man, holy shit. Oh! Slow it down, changing over. New variation of the motif. New rhythm. One pedal, there's a pedal in the background. We bring back the thing. Not acelerando, no. It's not acelerando. It feels so the intensity is going up. It doesn't mean that it's going faster. Accelerando means that it starts going faster. This feels like, this might feel like it's going faster. It's not. It's just that the intensity is building with each layer that we're introducing. Alright, new variation of the motif, still similar to what we had at the start, but with that bit of extra there. Nice. Karen is their second body, is it fighting against? Ooh, nice, okay. So yeah, it is for the character. And off the ramp we went. Off the ramp being another colloquial term that I use, this one being a particular type of transition or any kind of transition that makes your listener feel suspended up in the air at the mercy of inertia, waiting to see where you land. Kind of like going off a ramp. How do you do this? Remove the drums, maybe the bass as well, or in this case, we just use silence to do this. And alright, we bring back the original. The first, we bring in a reduction of the original with the new drums, doubling there with the added notes. All right. dissonant whistles there. We take the dissonant whistles over there and we then just invert what we were doing. We were doing a type of phrase over here, very nice, kind of. And then we invert that in the sense of taking the lowest note and we bring it up. We do that kind of inversion. Man, that's really cool. That's really cool. Sorry about Frostbite. I mean, it's a video game. There's the motif again. The beautiful motif. And we're adding a couple of extra notes here and there, making it a bit creepier so that it fits with the rest. Alright, and the repeated notes again. So now we're starting to use every, by beautiful I mean we heard it before. The one that played when we removed everything except the organ. Like, it removed everything except the drums and the organ, and it sounded beautiful. But we put it over here, and it sounds weird. It sounds out of place. It sounds dissonant, because everything else is dissonant. So yeah, we're establishing we're just reusing material at this point. There we go. Bring it back, and this time, we have the bass and the drums playing the motif. That did sound like... Yeah, we are slowing down. Oh. Okay, so we have a quick retardando over there. Retardando means to gradually slow down, as you heard over there. This is the name of the this is the name of the term. If you want to cry about it, go complain to the people 500 years ago who came up with it. So yeah, we're doing this. Let's see where it goes. Nice, nice. Probably bugged. Nice. Oh yeah, it does. Oh yeah, it does. Yes. There we go, bring that off the ramp. And we have now looped. Let me just go ahead and bring it to the end. And let's see if there's any difference over here. Okay, that was completely unnecessary to put the loop over there and then fade it out, because this isn't gonna fade out. Yeah, no, you could have left it with the silence and that was it. So, yeah, that was an editorial choice. There was no really need to make this video that long. I mean, it's better for ads, though. So yeah, no, with that, there you have it. So yeah, this is just going to continue looping. But the composer here did something very smart, which is putting the bit of silence over there between the big sections, so that then your points of looping have a little bit of time to reset the ear. And with that, there you have it. Suzumi Kuzu's second theme, MO-NA-D-1, Memory Pursuit from the Len'en for Brilliant Pagoda or Haze Castle soundtrack. And, sorry, it looks like it's about to say Mondani. Mondani is Hungarian for, like, said, or, like, have said, like, to say something. So... Like if you go to translate, it should have the kurva anyját. Not translate.com. Translate. Fuck off. Just translate. Translate, please. Mondani, which is in Hungarian, it's to say, like saying. Yeah. So sorry, that just looks like Mondani to me. Anyway, with that, there you go. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician and composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here musically. So, if you're watching this on the YouTube video archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever the news, like the video, share, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everyone, don't forget to join the Discord server. That's where everything gets announced first, whether it's the streams going live, the videos going up the channels, updates, project giveaways, everything gets announced there first. We have the community there, we hang out, we chat, we steal memes from other people's servers, claim them as our own, where I host the Vintage Story community server, that kind of stuff. Also, share these videos with everybody that you know. Use the hype function on YouTube. We have a group on the Discord, coordinates for that, so link in the description. Help the channel grow. Members get early access to the content, schedule the videos for a week on Saturdays, and if you're a paid member on YouTube, regardless of your tier, You get access to the videos when I schedule them, at least for the LFAs, so become a member today. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3.5 seconds, I'll be linking in the description down below. If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, check the pinned comment on this video. It has the instructions on what to do. If you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim from Monday through Friday. We stream live on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick so that you can tune in from whichever platform you prefer. We have the full up-to-date streaming schedule showing in your local time zone in both Discord and Twitch, both linked in the description. So, if you live in La Virgen, the Virgin, Chile, and you're like, yeah, but what time is whatever time it is in Hungary? I don't live there. Do not worry. Just go to Discord or Twitch, both linked in the description, and it's going to show the streaming schedule up to date in your local time zone, accounting for daylight savings if necessary. And subscribe to the gaming channel. Follow the gaming channel, because of course I have a gaming channel. I'm on YouTube. What else could I possibly have? Games are Basterd. So up with the gaming after show recordings when they happen. We play games on the later part of the stream, and then the VODs for every game we play live eventually end up over here. So subscribe to the channel, linked in the description, or search on YouTube, same username as James R. Basterd. Swap the J for a G, and you got it. And subscribe to the Reacts channel. The LFAs are React format. This is where we're putting the Reacts for everything else. James Reacts Basterd. Subscribe to the channel, linked in the description, or search on YouTube, same username as James R. Basterd. Send the R to Reacts, and you got it. Thank you for 800 subscribers here already. Oh my god, I just noticed. Thank you. And, yeah. There you have it. Suzumi Kuzu's second theme, Mo-NA-D-1, Mondani, Memory Pursuit, Legally Distinct Not Touhou. There you go. Good stuff, man. That was like good example of how to do the dissonance, dude. Good stuff, good stuff. But yeah, let's move on.